the dumpster diver. I'm the lone survivor. I'm the dumpster diver. Dumpster diver is my name. I never was much of a holy man, but I praise God I'm living out of your garbage can. 'Cause I'm the dumpster diver. I wanna be a trash truck driver. I'm the lone survivor. Dumpster diver is my name. And if you see me in your can, you don't have to call the man. I'm not gonna be here very long. I'm gonna clean it up before I'm gone. God bless America and the IGA, Independent Garbologists Association. Go ahead and mess your world up, because I'm here to stay. I'm the dumpster diver. I'm the lone survivor. I'm the dumpster diver. Dumpster diver is my name.
Three, two, one, stop nuclear testing. 3, 2, 1, stop nuclear testing. How's the sound, person? Great. Hi, my name's Jose. I want to welcome you to Politically Correct Cooking, a show about politics, a show about cooking. What a combination. What fun. Before we dive into today's show, I want to remind all our highly intelligent and esteemed viewers that we like to hear from you. We welcome your comments. We welcome your suggestions. Our address will be flashing on the screen throughout the show. Get a pencil, get some recycled paper, jot it down, let us know what you think. Now, if you want to vent your spleen about the show, the guest, the subject matter, we also like to hear from you. What we want you to do is put your criticisms on a $20 bill, and it will get the immediate personal attention that it requires. Let's see what's in the mailbag this week. This is from a G. Bush in Washington, D.C. Dear Jose, your show is in deep doo-doo at my house. I dislike it more than broccoli. Sincerely, G. Bush, Washington, D.C. Thank you for your comments, G. Bush. We'll take them under advisement. However, there's no K in broccoli. Now, I want to introduce to this show two good friends of mine, an old friend and a new friend. These fine people have been working in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow. And no, they don't work for the post office. They work at Peace Park. So I want to introduce two good friends of mine, E.T. and Thomas.
Hi,
I'm glad
Jose.
you could make it, E.T.
Hey, Jose.
Glad you could be here.
Glad we could get away for this tasteful break.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at this fine array of vegetables that we have, bread in front of us. I understand that a lot of this came from a dumpster.
You bet. In fact, I think we just saw it.
It was a very interesting experience for me, and you know, you're my mentor, so I really appreciate it, the chance to go out and actually see what is actually thrown away and wasted in our society.
It was
Now,
also provided by Zacchaeus Kitchen, which is a soup kitchen in Washington that serves about 500 people a day.
so anybody who's watching the show, if they're hungry, they can go down to the soup kitchen. They won't be turned away.
Absolutely.
Also, the Zacchaeus Food Kitchen gladly accepts donations
And volunteers.
and volunteers.
And their
Like
peace
people to
act.
get involved.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Well, why don't we get a quick overview of what the food preparation is for our viewers so they can be aware write down the recipe. And what's the first step here? What are we going to be doing?
We're going to have stir-fry vegetables and spicy tomato salad, and
What's for dessert?
Human rights.
Human rights for dessert. It's one of my favorites. So what's on the agenda here? What do we do?
okay, well, Jose, what I'd like for you to do is to start chopping these tomatoes for the salad, and
Okay.
Thomas is going to be stirring the vegetables.
Okay.
The oil is ready.
Sounds
Let's
great.
get started.
Okay. So what's it like living at Peace Park? And for those of you who don't know about Peace Park, it's also known as Lafayette Park.
We don't live there.
You don't?
Ellen's a little touchy about that. We've gone to jail for allegedly using the park for living accommodation purposes.
So I guess that does present a problem. Now, what exactly is your work?
Well, we try to solve problems. The theory is that humanity creates all its own problems, and so humanity can solve all its own problems. To do that, we need to communicate, to come to some understanding. Solving a problem, first step is identifying it, and that's what we spend our time doing in the park. We believe some things, and we try to live and symbolize our beliefs through our consistent presence in the park.
Well, having visited you at the park, I guess I was going to say your living quarters, but since you work there, I was going to say visiting your office. I've noticed that you have petitions for people to sign, you give away leaflets, you have really quite a setup there. How is your organization funded?
The Lord provides, with little help from wasteful society. We get a lot of stuff, like the food, we get a lot of our office equipment out of dumpsters too.
You told me that you got a computer?
Yeah, just the other day I was riding down the street on my bicycle and thought how nice it would be to find a laser printer. A couple hours later I was cruising through an alley and there was a laser printer.
Wow, that's great.
We believe in miracles.
Now, slicing these tomatoes, how am I doing? Am I doing okay?
Smaller.
Smaller? Okay.
It used to be even better. It seems there's a growing obsession with security. Nowadays, there are more and more dumpsters that are having locks put on them and getting their own personal security guards, and things are tightening up a bit.
That must be really hard, especially especially on the street in a wasteful society where dumpsters now have locks and security guards. That really does says quite a bit.
Says, I think, something about the value system. When you're closing up every little nook where somebody might be able to get out of the rain, it seems that you're more concerned with security than you are with people.
Now, your main goals at Peace Park, global nuclear disarmament, peace on Earth?
Peace on Earth, basically. I think nuclear disarmament is the focus that we put for first step towards achieving peace on Earth. Basically, Proposition 1 is the vehicle that we're using for that.
Now, Proposition 1 is?
It's a voter initiative campaign to get on the ballot all over the country, and also in the former Soviet Union, the idea of amending the Constitution to get rid of nuclear weapons and use the money instead to convert the war machine into a peace machine, which will provide for human needs such as housing and health care, education, cleaning up the environment.
So basically you're trying to get countries with nuclear weapons to
totally disarm everywhere. Make the world safe for the children.
Okay, and it seems that little by little, bit by bit, it's starting to occur.
There seems to be some hope.
Maybe
There's
its
a
own
little bit-
volition to it.
Yeah, when just the weight of insanity
reality.
and the reality starts to sink into some of these people, they realize that 20, 30,000, 40,000 nuclear weapons, it's got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, well, there have been some good changes. We were so terrified of the Soviet Union, and then it suddenly vanishes, voted itself out of existence.
And it
So we
vanished
have to examine our
rapidly,
fears.
too. That's true.
It means that people are less afraid of us than they used to be. 99% of the people who take time to read our petition now are signing it and saying, and are much more actively participating in the process. Right now we're working to get it on the ballot here in the District of Columbia.
And how's that coming along?
Well, we've been through the petitioning the public. Now we've got to educate people so that they vote right on the idea.
Well, good. All right. So how is this stir-fry coming along?
Coming right along.
Good. Is there anything, these tomatoes, they go into the salad or in the stir?
In the
salad?
Yeah.
Do they have to be smaller, or how they doing?
No, that looks pretty good.
Okay. And the potatoes will eventually be placed into the stir-fry also?
Right.
To give it the bulk and...
Yeah, well, it's in lieu of rice.
That's okay. Well, good. Well, having, I guess, worked at your offices in front of the White House, you've been there 11 years?
11 years, a little more.
Every day, every night, in good weather and in bad?
Except when we go to jail or
go to a cooking show.
Or a cooking show occasionally.
What sort of changes have you seen? It would seem to me that being on the street, you get a different perspective, but also being at the location where you're at, you have like a front row seat to history. You've seen summit meetings, you've seen leaders. I'm sure everybody who comes to D.C. as a tourist stops by the White House. It gives you a chance to talk to them. All the demonstrations that take place, all the people that come by. Is there anything that sticks in your mind? Any changes? Are people, for example, more aware of issues, or are they more apathetic? They just want to get their pictures taken and go, or is there more?
I think with all the changes that are going on in the world, there is more hope. People are starting to think. These things are happening. They're reading about them. They're happening so fast. They're reading about them in television, on the newspapers, and watching them on television, changing every day. And I think that change is a hopeful thing.
Well, that's good.
But there have been some changes that haven't been so hopeful, too. The New World Order is well underway.
I think maybe the most significant thing that I've noticed over the years is the drastic changes that have taken place with the government's restriction of freedom of thought and freedom of expression, essentially. I think this is reflected in a number of regulations that the government has passed since we've been out there.
I've noticed that, having worked in the past on numerous rallies and demonstrations, when you go through the permit process to get permission, say 10 years ago you just had to get permission. Now it's a series of hoops that you have to go through. There's more red tape, there's more rules, there's more regulations.
That's just what I'm talking about, I think, an illustration. These hoops that they're putting you through now are 3 cubic feet, can't move more than 3 feet or less than 3 feet away from the sign. Arbitrary, capricious restrictions that the government places on your ability to just talk, just to communicate.
For our viewers, can you explain in a little more detail what exactly the 3 feet thing is? What does it pertain to?
There have been 4 regulations written since the vigil began, and the most recent one went into effect on April the 6th, and what that says is that we're only allowed to have 3 cubic feet of property other than our signs, which means 3 feet is 1 foot by 1 foot by 3 feet. And that means that it's impossible to both communicate with people with literature and to survive the weather.
Stay warm in cold weather.
Particularly in the wintertime, it's going to be very, very tricky. We'll, of course, continue our vigil. It's been going on this long. We're not going to let them stop us now, but we may have to go back to prison again.
Well, to change the subject to, say, goodness and positive thoughts. Is there any individuals or rallies or demonstrations that you remember in a real positive and fond light?
Well, there's been thousands of demonstrations that we've seen over the years. Most of them don't last for very long, a few minutes or a few hours at the most, but there have been a couple that have been consistent, persistent, have really, I think, accomplished something. You remember in 1986 when the Great Peace March arrived?
I still have blisters from it.
All right, that's when we met. Charles Hyder, a physicist from New Mexico, was fasting for nuclear disarmament at that time. He did it for a really long time, and he became very famous all over the world. And I think that he had a profound effect on people's thinking. And then, of course, more recently, we had the Persian Gulf War last year. And at that time, there were dozens, sometimes even hundreds of people who were staying round the clock, beating on drums to stop the war.
I understand that George Bush complained about losing sleep, couldn't sleep.
Yeah, but then he admitted a couple of days later that he lied.
What's that?
He called it hyperbole.
It's a flip-flop that people have gotten used to. Also, I
It wasn't a harmless little white lie, though. I mean, I went to jail personally over it a few times. It was really, to me, from my point of view, a serious matter.
Also,
He might not have taken it too seriously.
there was cartoon strips regarding drumming, and I remember when the war was going on, going down to the White House to drum and try to stop the war. It was a very empowering time there too, with all the people that just came from all over the country, and for that matter, all over the world, to try to stop the war.
Yeah, it was really. I thought it was really positive.
I would recommend...
People coming together from all walks of life.
I know that.
Show off your shirt there.
Oh, you have a shirt.
My Desert Storm victory shirt.
Drums of Peace.
Right.
Great.
I don't know,
Now-
maybe George is the butcher of Baghdad now, but Saddam still rules.
Hey, he still has his job. Do you? By the way, we're going to show a video that you made, your first video attempt,
Right.
and it's called The Ground War at Home, and it chronicles events taking place at Peace Park during the war. So right now, while we're going to be fixing the food up here and getting ready to do some more stir fry, we're going to let our viewers see this video, and also let them know that if they're interested in getting a copy of the video, they can get in contact with you.
Right.
Your organization's address will be flashing on the screen. Jot it down and let them know. Okay, so why don't we roll them to Ground War at Home.
That's my president's plans for war and his desire to transform the United States Marine Corps into the International Oil Police. I resign from the military. Here's my dog tags, George Bush. I'm no longer a government issue. This is my duty.
On January 12, 1991, some Native Americans came to Peace Park, bringing with them Ojibwe and Sioux drums, which they beat for 4 days as a prayer for peace on earth, and especially the Middle East. Many people joined their prayer circle, coming to the park on their own to protest the war and picking up drums, to the dismay of the park police. The next 2 weekends, the streets of D.C. filled with people from all over the world. The White House was surrounded by 250,000 people. January 26th, the police rushed the crowd. Several people were injured, trampled. The police violence signs didn't stop the demonstrators. The drumming grew more intense as the war progressed. To stop the peace drumming, the police intensified their tactics by launching an assault against the very same signs that had been permitted to stand in the park since the sign size regulation went into effect in April 1986. They are right here. They are right here. No! No! The excuse for stealing this sign was that it was abandoned.
Stop! Stop in the name of peace, in the name of God! Stop! 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 Stop!
Congratulations on that video. It was excellent.
Thank you.
The person who was getting arrested at the end there looked kind of familiar, don't you think?
Well, I would like to point out that the charges were all dropped. Recently, the Court of Appeals decided that that was totally unconstitutional to be charging people with, during that same time, not that particular arrest, but the drumming, the 60 decibels,
Right.
was totally unreasonable in light of the fact that the background noise level there is over 70 decibels.
Have you been arrested since then?
Well, Ellen has.
Yeah.
Ellen got arrested.
3 days after Thomas testified before Congress challenging whether the taxpayers should be spending money on enforcing this new 3 cubic foot regulation, the police came and swept us all away at 4 o'clock in the morning. Fortunately, Thomas was at our office, which is provided by friends, and I was able to call him, and we were rescued relatively quickly, although it was very cold, and they made us stand outside after they released us.
What they're good at doing. I know. I've had a lot of friends who've been arrested, and all the stories are, you wait outside in the cold rain, or you wait in the hot sun, and no water, no bathroom breaks, things like that. But
They
it's
also
just part of the
arrested
price
our
that you
dog.
pay. And they arrested your dog.
She's been a vet. She's been arrested.
She's been arrested many times also. Well,
We've put some soy sauce on the stir fry. It looks
Okay.
ready to
Is
me.
it ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm going to add the potatoes. Now this is unique because ordinarily people think of stir fry with rice, but I just want to show that you can use whatever you got available to you, and the principles of having starches with your stir fry are all the same, and it, I believe,
tell you
will
what,
take
let
delicious.
me get this out of the way so we got a better shot of the
Here, you wanna
of this delicious meal.
All right.
Smells
we
good.
Have this
And we got
beautiful
this
salad that
beautiful
you
salad
completed,
I've been working so hard on.
and it'll blow your mouth out.
I understand that there's a
A lot of hot
there was
peppers.
a lot of hot peppers were discovered in a foray into America's wasteland. It smells great.
All right, I think we're
ready to go here?
We're ready to go here.
Okay.
Okay. Why don't you get the first plate?
Okay. How about a healthy serving here of potato stir fry? That ought to do it. Okay.
All right.
Now this is hot tomato
This is
salad.
spicy tomato salad.
Spicy tomato
Yeah.
salad.
It's got garlic and hot peppers and green onions
That
and
should do it.
tomatoes.
Okay. Let me get you some forks here.
All right.
Well, as we're closing up and wrapping up the show here, is there anything that you want to tell people
That's plenty for me.
about...
I'd like people to think about Proposition 1. I think that Proposition 1 is a timely alternative. When we have choices like we have today in the presidential election, this is something that gives people a chance to actually make decisions. I think it's empowering. I think it's a vehicle of empowerment, and I'd like people to think about it.
It's
A
important.
step towards democracy, I think.
People thinking leads to democracy. Who knows what that could lead to?
Trouble, maybe, huh?
Uh-oh.
The peace and justice community has a lot of issues that are very important that, however, are fragmented. And Proposition 1 is a way in which we can mandate that the government provide the funds necessary, as well as getting rid of nuclear weapons, provide the funds necessary to start solving the problems that face us, like cleaning up the environment and educating our children and providing health care for the elderly, housing for the homeless.
This food is delicious. I wish our viewers were here to join us. But, you know, we'll just have to get them to write for the recipe. Or they can maybe...
Stop by in the park any time.
Yeah.
This is, what, 1601 Pennsylvania?
Well, I refuse to answer that question on the ground that I might be accused of camping.
Okay. How about your office address, 1601 Pennsylvania? Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well,
where we work.
I certainly appreciate you finding time to come down to the show to tell us about what was going on and all your hard work, especially the 11 years that you've spent, plus everything else that you've done. We certainly appreciate it. And as a token of our appreciation, here at Politically Correct Cooking, we want to give you your own little chef's hats for doing such a fine job on the show and for cooking such a fine meal. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you,
And
Jose.
we'll
I'd
be
like to
stopping
thank
by.
you for your masterful communication.
This is a great idea.
Well, I'm glad you
Yeah.
enjoyed it. This is a great meal.
Let's eat.
Let's eat. Potatoes are delicious.